Frida Kahlo was a well-known Mexican painter. She was influenced by her Mexican culture. Today we're going to look at some of her still life paintings. A still life is a painting or drawing of an inanimate object like fruit, flowers, or books. Many of her still lifes include tropical fruit of Mexico: melons, oranges, coconuts. Notice the shapes that are used to create these fruits: semicircles for watermelons, orange and cantaloupes use circles. She adds texture to the inside and outside of her fruit. Some fruit is whole and some is cut. When you create your still life of fruit, I want you to think about showing the inside of some of your fruit pieces. Today, we will create a still life collage of fruit and give it lots of texture. All right, let's get started on our still life. I have a piece of paper for the background. So I want to get and start with my watermelon. I'm going to use a smaller piece of paper than that background. I'm going to fold this piece of paper in half. And now, like a book, we have the fold on one side, the opening on the other. I'm holding the fold. I'm going to get a pen or a pencil. Hold your fold. We're going to start on the open corner and we're going to curve down and around. This is going to be for our watermelon rind. Now I'm going to go back up to the top, following that line, making a parallel line. So that means they're going to run right next door to each other and never cross. Now we'll go ahead and cut this out. I have a little rip on that, so I'll cut that down. What you should have is the rind of your watermelon, and you'll notice it's nice and symmetrical. I found a red piece of paper. I can go ahead and glue my watermelon rind to. And then I can go ahead and cut this out. And follow that edge. I don't like how I can see that black line, so I'll just trim part of that off. Go straight across. We can create some seeds and do some outlining. Because I have that marker line there, I think I will go ahead and outline so looks part of that. If you wanted to add some watermelon seeds, we're going to do these teardrop shapes. So they're a point and then curve. Then you can go ahead and color them in. The watermelon usually has some texture in the rind. So this would be the rind. So if you want to go ahead and get your crayons out, your markers, add some line design pattern. You can do that. If you have oil pastels, that would be great too. So I'm done with my watermelon. I'm going to put it to the side. This will be my background. So maybe I'll just set it over to the side, see what else I want to add. Thinking of some other tropical fruit that you might get. I'm thinking about a melon, and that would be kind of a circular form. I got my watermelon, so I got to see how big. I probably wouldn't want one this big. That would probably be too small. I'm thinking something a little bigger, and I can go ahead and cut it out. So this could be like my cantaloupe, you know, the orange melon. When you cut it open, the flesh of the fruit is orange. I'm going to think about the texture for it as well. It seems to be like a veiny texture, so maybe I have some. Oh, that one's hard to see. Maybe I'll go a little bit darker. I don't want too dark. Oh, that's perfect. But maybe I'll do like kind of like wavy lines from one side to the other. But then it seems to cross. So maybe I'll add some more going across. I could even use some other types of texture. Like if I found some great texture on the bottom of my shoe. So I could take this and do a crayon rubbing with the side of my crayon to get some more texture, called a texture rubbing. Like that. So there's my melon with some lines and texture. I'll see how I could have it in front of the watermelon or behind watermelon. I'm not sure where I'm going to put that yet, so I'll keep thinking. Next fruit, I think I'm going to cut it open. So I'm going to create a U with a zigzag line going across the top. And then I can add some textures to that. Grab some warm colors for that. We'll go ahead and cut this out. Zigzags are hard to cut, but I find if I snip in from one side and the other side, it's a little easier than going here and then cranking your hand. If you do this, go ahead and turn your paper instead of your wrist. Best if you always keep that point away from you and have your worker hand moving the paper. So let's go back to our still life setup. Get some overlapping, means placing one thing in front of the next. I think I still need some more fruit here. Maybe an animal like Frida Kahlo would often include on her still life. Maybe I get a small little pear. I feel like I need something. I have these sizes that all seem pretty similar, so I feel like I need something tiny. If I do a pear is like a circle and a smaller circle on top, and you can connect them together. I could draw that, cut this out, and then turn it over. Or you start at the top, go out and around, come down to the bottom. Like that. If that's too hard, you could even make a small apple. Like that. Or you could do both. I did this one. And then we'll just flip it over and add the texture to the side that doesn't have the lines. You could add some pattern or some shading to yours. I'm just going to do some shading on these two. Maybe I want both of them. All right, I made an apple. Even if you want to just do fun designs on your apple, you can do that. I think I'll tuck it back there. Now, I think I am going to add that parrot. Frida Kahlo had a lot of pets. She loved animals, and maybe a parrot would be sitting on her table pecking at her food. So if we do our parrot, let's think about the shapes we would use. We have a head, which would be a nice circular shape. And we would have a beak, and the parrot's beak is like a little hook. So then we'll bring out our little hook there. Give your parrot an eye. Now we'll have to get his body in there, and you know, I always like to do a little air drawing. I'm thinking of this U shape like that. So from the head we'll come down and around. We'll add on the parrot's tail and his claws, and then we can give him some wings. Now we have a profile view, so we're not going to see the other side of his wing, but you can go ahead and give him some bright, beautiful colors. Some texture for his feathers or her feathers. And then go ahead and cut him out. All right, once you get them cut out, think about the placement. I think he would be really fun just perched on top of that apple. Now that we've arranged our composition how we like it, we can start gluing things into place. So I'm going to start with the items I want on the back first. I have my melon kind of tilted. I can even have this go right off the page. Make sure you have your overlapping. Some items are in front of others to make for a more interesting piece instead of all lined up, so you have excitement. And then we'll right there. So here's our textured still life after viewing the art of Frida Kahlo. A still life is a picture or painting of things that do not move, although we do have a little portrait in there of our parrot, but this part's our still life. So way to go on your collage.